What's going on, everybody? My name is C4. Welcome back to the channel. And it's been a minute, man. Last week had the vid, so I wasn't able to record. But while I was on IR, just, get the old mind turning here, thinking of ideas. And it's been a while that I've wanted to combine a rebuild series with pink slips somehow, some way to make something entertaining, make something that hasn't been done before. And I think we have something here. What we are going to do here today is a 5-year rebuild. However, in year one of this rebuild, it is all about the wins and losses. Sometimes it's not all about the wins and losses. Sometimes it's about tanking. Sometimes it's about draft picks. Not today. In today's video, every time we win a game here in year one, at the end of the season, all of those wins are going to get pulled together, and we are going to add a Browns legend. Every loss that we suffer here in the first season is going to replace a starter with a bust. There has been a lot of busts with the Cleveland Browns. That is why we're using them as a starting point. Johnny Manziel, Brandon Weeden, Trent Richardson, Corey Coleman, Phil Taylor, Justin Gilbert, amongst many. There's also some greats for the Cleveland Browns. Otto Graham, Jim Brown, Josh Gordon for that 1 year, Ozzie Newsome, Joe Thomas, Joe Haden, Clay Matthews, the old one. So what we are going to do is we're going to sim out this first season, see where we're at for wins and losses. Based upon the wins, add some legends. Based upon the losses, add some busts. And that will be, at the end of year one, the remaining team that we have to go on and try to win the Super Bowl with. So I feel like that's just something, I gotta be honest, especially with the Browns, don't really want to rebuild the Browns with formerly one of my favorite players in the NFL. Unfortunately, he's a creep. We'll put it as vanilla as you can. He's at best an absolute creep. So that is why we are going to rebuild the Cleveland Browns. That is why we're hopefully going to have a lot more legends and busts. And that is why at the end of this 5 years, we're going to have a once-in-a-lifetime Cleveland Browns team is going to go on and win a Super Bowl. Week 1, we lost to the Cincinnati Bengals 29-12. So our first bust is going to be at the quarterback position, where we get rid of 78 star dev Deshaun Watson. His replacement is bust Johnny Manziel, and for the bust, we are going to be using their last Madden rating while on the Browns. So this is Madden 16. This is before Johnny Manziel went to Vegas, never came back, got released. He was a 71 overall, 23 years old, normal dev. Base ratings, not the best. Got some good boosts right now. We got 92 throw power, 92 throw on. These are the exact ratings from Madden 16. We can work with some of this, I think, and at least, he's not a pervert. Week 2 was another loss, 28-17 against the Pittsburgh Steelers. So with this one, we unfortunately have to get rid of arguably the best running back in the NFL, Nick Chubb. We're going to replace him with Trent Richardson, a name that still sends shivers down the spine of Browns fans. Now, his last year in Cleveland, he did end up getting traded to the Colts, so I went with his end-of-season rating, which was like an 80, but putting the same stats in to Madden 24, this would have been Madden 15, only got him as a 74 overall, so I'll take it more in line with like being a bust. Week 3, we got our first victory of the season at 28-21, and we're going to go find a nice wide receiver to pair with Amari Cooper. So we're going to be replacing David Bell, 69 second-year player out of Purdue, with Madden 15's Josh Gordon. This is the Josh Gordon off of that year. The year where he played like half a season with Derek Anderson. Put up 1,600 yards, 93 overall with a superstar dev. Back to a 25-year-old Josh Gordon. We got 95 catching, 95 catch in traffic, 98 deep route running, 94 spec catch, 93 release. An absolute, like a one-of-a-kind, you just had to be there type seasons. Week 4, we get a victory over the Ravens, an upset, some may say, 32-15. I think I want to go target another wide receiver so we can be 3 deep. So our salary cap is absolutely terrible right now, so we're just going to let Donovan Peoples-Jones walk to free agency, but his replacement is going to be an upgrade. Our next legend is Madden 09's Braylon Edwards, 95 overall. This is him coming off a season with the Browns, where he made the Pro Bowl, had 80 catches, 1,200, almost 1,300 yards, 16 touchdowns. I actually, honestly, I misremembered. I was literally, when I was making my list of like hits and bust legends, I Braylon Edwards like trending towards a bust for some reason. I mean, he was solid. Maybe never lived up to the hype. Had a one big breakout. You're kind of maybe a one-hit wonder, if you will. But we're going to count him. He's going to be one of our all-timers. Plenty of weapons for Money Manziel. Week 5 was a bye, so our next game was Week 6, where we get another upset, beating the San Francisco 49ers 24-21. So that's another legend that we could add to the squad. And we're going to go with Ozzie Newsome. How I'm going to do these legends is I'm going to go with their, like, base legend ultimate team card. Like, I look at ultimate, you get a bunch of 99s and stuff. Those are, like, the end game content. For what little I understand, we're going to go with, like, the introductory, like, when they first jump in the game as legends, not as, like, the low-rated free one. So, Ozzie Newsome in Madden 21. This is his 92 overall card, which, updating the exact ratings like for like, goes 97. So, we're going to be taking the base rating as is, and we'll take whatever the juice score is, converting it from Madden 21 Ultimate Team here to Madden 24 franchise. So, we get a nice 97 X-Factor tight end here in Ozzie Newsome, who also went on to become a legendary front office man, GM of the Ravens. Week 7 was unfortunately a loss, 21-14 to the Colts. So now it's time to take something away from our receiving room. We're unfortunately going to be letting go of 90 superstar wide receiver Amari Cooper. Definitely a big loss. Probably our worst loss so far, not named Nick Chubb. And replacing him with the former 15th overall pick in the 2016 NFL Draft, Corey Coleman, whose Madden 20 rating of a 72 overall is certainly not that of what we just gave up in Amari Cooper. So hopefully the addition of Josh Gordon and Braylon Edwards makes it so the sting of going from Amari Cooper to Corey Coleman, not that bad. Plus, I mean, we also got Ozzie Newsome out there too. Week 8, a competitive game as we defeat the Seattle Seahawks 26-18, and we got a very easy legend upgrade coming up now on the offensive line. So I might as well mention, though, to keep things fair, when we do an upgrade at a specific position, I am going to get rid of if they have a good player. Like, for example, David Njoku, very solid tight end, but it doesn't make sense for us to both have Ozzie Newsome and Njoku because Njoku got paid, he has a big contract, and this is going to be a rebuild, so we're going to need as much salary as we possibly can. So Ozzie Newsome will replace our starter in said position. So we're going for a legendary Hall of Fame left tackle, which makes sense to get rid of a good player in Jedrick Wills because he is our starting left tackle. And we're going to go with Madden 15's 97 overall Joe Thomas. Ended up making the Hall of Fame as the first lineman in NFL history, but also maybe like the best player, the most talented player to play on the worst teams for the entirety of his career. Right? Honestly, he's in that conversation with like Barry Sanders. Week 9 was a expected victory over the Arizona Cardinals, 20-14. And we're going to go with another legend, this time on the defensive side of the ball. So we're going to replace starting defensive tackle Shelby Harris, who is a 78 normal. And we're going to go with Michael Dean Perry, who had an 88 overall Ultimate Team card in Madden 21. And the inverse of Ozzie Newsome. Ozzie Newsome's base stats jumped him up. Michael Dean Perry was 88, but you put his stats into Madden 24 franchise mode, and it's only an 85, which is pretty modest, but still pretty damn good and a big upgrade over what we had. Week 10 was an ass whooping at the hands of the Baltimore Ravens as we fall 31-3. So we are going to counteract the legendary stud of Joe Thomas and put a bust on the other side at right tackle. So we're going to be losing Jack Hawkins. Now the player that we're about to add has played multiple positions, but just to keep it easy right now, we are going to have him go at right tackle. And we're going to replace him with Cam Irving, who actually is still in Madden, much like Josh Gordon was. So that's the lowest rating he has, 68. We're going to have him start at right tackle. We knocked him back down to the age of his final year in Cleveland before he was cut 2 years after being a first-round pick at 24 years old. We won Week 11 against the Pittsburgh Steelers, 31-13. This one here is going to be a layup. We're just going to keep Myles Garrett as is. He is absolutely a Cleveland Browns legend, arguably the best pass rusher in franchise history. Week 12 was a 1-point defeat against the Denver Broncos, 28-27. And I think we're going to have to start balancing out the defense here with some busts. So we're going to be losing defensive tackle Dalvin Tomlinson, 79 star dev, who's a solid, serviceable defensive tackle too. He gone. We're going to replace him with Phil Taylor, who was the 21st pick in 2011, and he only made it 3 years. Didn't even make his full-length contract, and some very polarizing draft picks out of Baylor for the Cleveland Browns. You have Josh Gordon, who's polarizing, but you've had bust in Corey Coleman and now Phil Taylor. Maybe just avoid drafting Baylor Bears if you're a Cleveland Brown GM. Week 13, we beat the Rams 17-10. We're going to replace Siani Takitaki, 76 outside linebacker. And we're going to go with Madden 13's DeQuell Jackson, who I'm surprised, using Pro Football Reference, they have like a value, it's called AV, where they rank like the greatest players. He's within the top 50 of Cleveland Browns of all time. So like I knew maybe not a legend, but the fact that he's one of the top 50 players in terms of what they contributed to the Browns organization, and I would be able to go find and pull a Madden rating for him, I was like, all right, deal. So we gave him, he was a 91 overall. He was coming off a year where he was runner-up for comeback player of the year. 77 speeds, kind of yikes, but he makes up with it. 97 tackle, 93 block shed, 96 pursuit. Just an absolute animal. But he was up there in age a little bit at 27, going on 28. So for a 5-year rebuild, they're not all going to be cheesy picks, but he should help our team right away. Week 14, we suffered a 35-17 defeat to the Jags. So this is going to be an L, and we're going to look at a pass rusher. On the other side of Myles Garrett, we're going to be downgrading from 87 superstar Zadarius Smith. We're going to go with Barkevious Mingo and his Madden 17 rating. He was a first-round pick for the Browns out of LSU, and in his career, only playing 3 seasons, got 7 total sacks in those 3 seasons. Honestly, had like a somewhat serviceable career, but that much more of a career from like a 4th or 5th round pick that would have been acceptable. Not a first round pick. Definitely a big time miss from the Browns. Week 15, a victory, 17-14 over the Chicago Bears. I think we will continue on the defensive side of the ball. We can go back to the offense. I actually think I missed someone that I want to add, but we'll go DB, one of my favorite DBs of all time. Sticking with our rules of upgrading over our best players, we're going to be upgrading over Denzel Ward, who is an 89 star. And we're going to upgrade him to Joe Haden, who in Madden 15 was a 95 overall. I remember Joe Haden as a rookie out of Florida, had like 6 interceptions for the Browns. It was awesome. And in Madden 15, 91 speed, 96 acceleration, 97 agility, 94 jumping, 98 man, 94 zone, a complete corner. Underrated. Week 16, a victory over the... Man, we had a good record. Week 16, a victory, 13-3 over the Houston Texans. Let's go back on the offense. I'll get an idea. Browns are going to have a pretty good offensive line. Ethan Posich, arguably one of the weaker links, I suppose, on the offensive line, even though he is solid. He's 79 with a normal, but we're going to get an upgrade here. We're going to place him with Madden 15's Alex Mack, 92 superstar, 28 years old, so into his prime, but he was a beast. You know, pretty much back in the day for like the Browns, it was like this like Peyton Hillis era or getting around then, but it was like pretty much Alex Mack and Joe Thomas were like head and head, neck and neck, the highest rated members of the Cleveland Browns. So we're going to have him anchor the center of our offensive line. Week 17, which was our final victory of the season, 23-17 over the Jets. This is the Jets were there. Man, I'm happy that the Browns are getting good sims, because once we take this team full of busted legends, I think it's only a matter of time to win a Super Bowl. But for our final upgrade, this is kind of treading the line of like legend, fan favorite player. I don't know if this is the best use of one of our wins, one of our legend upgrades. But like I think of my era since I've been watching football, I would prioritize a player then and a player that's been in the Madden realm so I can reference his ratings. Then maybe like some guy from like the 50s. So oppose going someone like Jim Brown, right? Because I feel like we need to embrace some of the busts. That's the whole fun part of this. So I'm going to embrace Trent Richardson being my starter. If I brought in Jim Brown, it, you know, kind of negate that a little bit. And if I made Jim Brown like a fullback, would also kind of negate that a little bit. So for some of these, obviously, we got to try to make it as entertaining as possible. And I think that is a key word when talking about our final upgrade. So we're going to be getting rid of Elijah Moore here at wide receiver, 80 with a start. Actually, I don't even know if the player we're going to get is going to be a higher base rating as a wide receiver. It might be around there. And our last legend, you know, this series is not always going to be pure legends, looking strictly for Hall of Famers. If you're a fun player that I associate my personal life, and I want to put you in this, that's what I'm doing here with Josh Cribbs. He's one of the best return man of all time. Probably since I've been watching football. He's probably top 3 or 4. Like Devin Hester's the GOAT. Then you probably got like Cordell Patterson, Josh Cribbs, Dante Hall, you know, in the next mix here. So we did give him a superstar dev, but that's only to give him the return man ability. We got 92 speed, 96 acceleration, 98 agility, 90 jumping, 87 ball carrier vision, 98 change of direction, 99 juke, 98 spin, 99 kick return. So just an ultimate utility player to help the Browns out. And our last game of the season was a 35-21 defeat to the Cincinnati Bengals. Luckily, we have enough room to add one more all-time bust to the Browns roster. This is in the secondary. For this, we will be losing 86 star dev corner Greg Newsome, 23 years old. This is a guy that has a ceiling for a rebuild, a regular 5-year rebuild. He's going to get 94, 95, 96 overall. And we are getting a total piece of dump, stinky hot doo-doo dump as his replacement. We're going with a gigantic bust, the 8th pick in the 2014 NFL Draft. Lasted only 3 seasons in the NFL, so we're pulling his Madden 17 rating, and that is Justin Gilbert, 73 normal dev. Actually, not brutal. He was actually, I thought was going to be solid. I did not see that he was going to be an absolute stinker of a pick here for the Cleveland Browns, but this is finishing out our upgrades and downgrades, our legends and bust, with an all-time downgrade, losing Newsome 86 star at 24, going right down to a 73 normal. Kind of sucks, but now, finally, our roster has been set to get into year 2 of this 5-year rebuild. So now that year 1 has completed and we have our roster set in stone, let's take a look. Offensively, Joe Thomas, Joe Bitonio, Alex Mack, Wyatt Teller, and because Irving subbed in for Conklin, we're going to go DeJuan Jones at right tackle. So we are losing about 9 points overall in the difference, but just because we roll a bust doesn't mean we have to play the bust. It just gives us an overall team downgrade. Ozzie Newsome, 96 X Factor, the lone X Factor on the offense here for the Browns. We got Trent Richardson and Jerome Ford in the backfield as a Jerome Ford fantasy football owner. Let's go. Manziel at quarterback. We have Josh Gordon, Braylon Edwards, Josh Cribbs, Corey Coleman, Cedric Tillman make up our wide receiver core. This is going to be a pretty good offense as long as we can, survive here. And we don't have a first-round pick because of the Deshaun Watson trade here in the draft that's about to happen. So it's going to be, those will be 2 positions we will look at if there is a quarterback available. But we'll probably be looking more so on the defensive side, where our front 4, we got Okoronkwo and Myles Garrett, along with Barkevious Mingo as our pass rushers, Phil Taylor and Michael Dean Perry at D tackle. We have hopefully a lot of nickel base in the defense, run that Jim Schwartz defense with DeQuell Jackson and JOK. But right outside linebacker could be a position we want to target. Grant Delpit and Juan Thornhill at safety with Joe Haden, Martin Emerson, and Justin Gilbert at corner. The annoying thing, sitting here at pick 18 in the second round, this guy looks like the best player available right now. It's a center. Don't need a center. 3 A's and a B. And I'm trying to think, is there a way to shuffle the line around? Like Joel Bitonio, could we kick him out to guard? Or kick him from guard to right tackle? And then Irons can go inside at guard. Might have to experiment a little bit there. I looked around, man. There's a couple linebackers, but we can get those guys in the 3rd round. This is the best player available. I think it's a good problem to have. Oh, there's no dev. We don't even need you. All right, so we need that extra linebacker, and it's down to 2. We have Brady Donnelly out of LSU. B block shed, B pursuit, B zone coverage. He has solid acceleration, great speed, good strength. Ran a 4.45 at his pro day. 3-cone, 20-yard shuttle looks solid. B man coverage, B zone coverage. Looks solid. Or we have Antoine Hazelwood here out of Stanford. 6'2", 250. A little more old school style. B block shed, A tackle. Ran a 4.52. Has elite acceleration, elite speed, good strength. The 3-cone, 20-yard shuttle is exactly where you really want it to be. Coverage, not the best. But I'm a little more intrigued with this guy. Oh, man. So our first pick's great ratings, I suppose. No devs, though. Ross Irons, 74, 75 for Hazelwood. Yeah. Damn. I'm telling you right now, I'm just doing this just to help give Johnny Manziel. I can't remember the last time I even flirted with gold in this drill. Stud! Johnny Manziel comeback season. He's thrown with anticipation. He got some big time. Maybe the issue wasn't Johnny Manziel in Cleveland. Maybe just didn't have enough weapons, because now we got even Josh Cribbs, for God's sakes, on top of Braylon Edwards and Josh Gordon. He is absolutely playing like a man possessed. It's motivating. We don't need no playbook. He doesn't need to read a playbook. Is that illegal touching if I throw it to B here? Don't care if it is. Don't care if it is, because it's going down as successful catches. We are now setting a personal best. I wish they kept records of these, So I could go back at some point and see my highest score ever on Pass a Skeleton is 14K with Johnny Manziel. Okay, after a Week 5 victory, Johnny Manziel is AFC Offensive Player of the Week. 290 yards passing, 3 tutties, as well as almost 40 yards on the ground. Did not see this coming. And about the midway point of the season, 4-4. Number 3 offense in the NFL. Got to get the defense going. I would make the argument, I thought my defense would be better than my offense. But the good thing about how our roster for this rebuild has been constructed, we only have 4 upcoming free agents, and only really 1 that is a clear re-sign target. That is JOK at linebacker, 54 mil, locked and loaded. Let's go. And he's done it again. Week 14 to bring us above 500, to get us to 7-6. No chance we can catch the Ravens here, but we were a 10-win team last year. And you'd like to think that maybe we can continue to push for a wild card spot. And Johnny Manziel, second time this year, wins AFC Offensive Player of the Week. 230 yards passing, 2 tutties to go on with 25 yards on the ground and a rushing touchdown. That's great, though, that if you are going to have a quarterback with the skill set of Johnny Manziel, have an offense that is going to let him use his legs, and we got that here in Cleveland. And at the end of year 2, we go 10-7 again, so that is kind of good. That through 2 seasons, that is our floor. We're the number 3 offense in the NFL. Top 5 passing offense. And I think when you have Braylon Edwards, Josh Gordon, Ozzie Newsome, we have a pretty overpowered offense, 93 overall. And while we do have the Trent Richardsons and Johnny Manziel, Manziel's been popping off. Our rush defense also pretty solid this season. Take a look at our stats. Johnny Manziel. Did not see that coming. There's good and bad. There's the yin and the egg. 4,000 yards, especially Madden 24. Very good. 38 touchdowns in Madden 24. Very good. 22 interceptions, however, is definitely showing his rating, and that might put him outside. I mean, the normal to start dev jump is not ridiculously difficult to get, but I am a little worried those interceptions might, unfortunately, have Johnny Manziel not win any awards, have him not get any upgrades, which would be annoying because, we'll give him a shot this series as long as we do it. Every bust that we utilize, I suppose, we're not getting them when they're like 31. There's a chance that they could have a little bit of a career revival as well. So you're getting like the best of both worlds. You guys have Neapolitan ice cream in America? Because in Canada, Neapolitan ice cream, strawberry, chocolate, vanilla, all in one container. Now, I hate strawberry ice cream. I would just gold dig the vanilla and chocolate out of it. But in this rebuild, we're not only getting a little bit of pink slips, we're not also getting a rebuild, we're also getting a little bit of career revival opportunity. Those are 3 videos in series we have done on this channel. But Johnny Manziel, pretty good start. Also 300 yards on the ground, another 4 touchdowns, 7 tutties Jerome Ford, 9 and 8 from Trent Richardson. Well, that is definitely the gigantic drop-off. If we had Nick Chubb, I can only imagine what Nick Chubb would have done in this backfield. 1,100 yards, 14 touchdowns for Josh Gordon. That Manziel and Gordon, weren't they on the same team in like the fan-controlled football league or something crazy like that? Doing it on the big time here in the NFL. 900 yards, 4 touchdowns. And to be full disclosure, Josh Gordon, I had him lining up in the slot. Josh Cribbs, our shot player here. 899 4. We got Braylon Edwards, 863 and 7. Ozzie Newsome, 800 yards, 9 touchdowns, 85 catches. Those are big-time numbers for him at tight end. Defensively, DeQuell Jackson and JOK going over 100 tackles. We got 8.5 sacks, 20 TFLs for Myles Garrett, 25 TFLs, 7 sacks for Michael Dean Perry on Jim Schwartz's defensive unit here. 4 picks, 1 Thornhill, 3 from Joe Haden, 2 from Grant Delpit. Old Justin Gilbert getting an interception there as well. Looking at the yearly awards, MVP goes to Lamar Jackson. And again, you think Johnny put up good numbers. Those interceptions are going to hurt him. 22 is a lot. Josh Gordon coming to number 6 in Offensive Player of the Year. Love seeing that. I don't think we're really going to have any other real chance at award winner. Johnny Manziel made the top 10 quarterbacks. Kind of surprising. Josh Gordon, second best wide receiver, just behind Keenan Allen, and that is nothing to be ashamed about. Keenan Allen is an absolute monster. We got Wyatt Teller in the top 5 of offensive linemen. Michael Dean Perry making number 8 for D lineman. Juan Thornhill making top 10. And Dustin Hopkins, best kicker in the freaking league. He's just base roster guy. Anytime you get something like that in base roster guys in this series, that's going to be huge. So we kick off our playoff journey against the Buffalo Bills here, 13-4. What can Money Manziel and Josh Gordon do in a shootout against Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. And unfortunately, crash and burning here in the first round, and not overly competitive as we fall 24-10 in a matchup where, yep, they have Josh Allen and we have a quarterback who, counting that, threw 24 interceptions this year. Not great. At the end of year 2, for our dev traits, Josh Gordon goes up to X Factor. Ozzie Newsome keeps his X Factor. No dev for Johnny Manziel, who 100% earned it on the positive output. It was the 22 interceptions that has him from not jumping up to a star, which is annoying. We lost a superstar on both Braylon Edwards and Josh Cribbs. On the defensive side, we have an X Factor gained for Michael Dean Perry. We lost the superstar on DeQuell Jackson. Could be an age thing, though. Out of all of our roles, he was the player that was like least in his prime when he was great for the Browns. So I think that's kind of what's going on there. We gained a superstar dev for Juan Thornhill. And I think that is about it. Dustin Hopkins, kicker of the year. Doesn't even get a dev for getting kicker of the year. Okay. So for free agency, there are some pretty big fishes. I did think, did we just go Tua? Do we just grab, a top quarterback right now to pull the strings of our offense that's already in place? But I saw enough of Johnny Manziel that this could be a pivotal moment where we look back, if it's year 4, year 5, and Manziel didn't figure it out and we can't find a quarterback in the draft, and free agency dries up for QBs, and we're like, man, if we just would have went Tua, things could have been great. But I saw enough of Manziel to be like, let's give him a shot. So I want to spend our money. We got a lot of money here. We're going to try to get Evan McPherson at kicker and Kader Kohu to come in and be our nickel corner. Whoa. Some gigantic bids came in there for him. We'll go to our max bid, which I don't think is going to be enough. All right. Well, another year, Justin Gilbert back there, but we landed one of the best kickers in the NFL. Okay, another year where we just don't have a first-round pick. I hope this is the last year. Absolutely hope. So all my players that I scouted were not, second-round guys for sure. I looked at Taj Gardner just because he was the athlete at the running back room in this draft class. Elite acceleration, great speed, top 5 3-cone, 20-yard shuttle. Looks pretty good. You also have Cordell McDuffie. You want more of a power back. Just because Trent, I don't know if Trent Richardson is going to be the guy. And also pretty solid athlete. Wish the 3-cone and 20-yard shuttle was a little bit better, but he does have elite strength. Maybe, right? Outside of this, I was like, okay, we're just, again, I was just more so going to second, third rounders that looked the best. Maybe not so much BPA, because we're kind of in that spot where it's like, well, we're not really going to have a lot of opportunities to go BPA because we kind of just got to take what's there. Dexter Claiborne was another one. C block said A finesse, C power, B tackle, 6'5", 292. A little bit undersized with defensive tackle, but 4'7", 37. Like, this is probably the guy. However, there was also a linebacker that had pretty good stats, and that was George Shelley. 3 A's. D block shed kind of sucks, but he's a pure pass coverage guy. And his combine also looked reasonable. Elite agility, elite change of direction, great acceleration, good speed. So I'm thinking in a perfect world, we're going to be able to go. We'll go Claiborne here, 3-4. And then stick with Trent Richardson, kind of punt on the running backs. Oh, no dev. Oh, no dev. But for a guy that's just barely 290 with 89 strength, there might be a good rating attached to this guy. So the linebacker's off the board. We can come back to the running back here in Cordell McDuffie. Pretty decent looking power back, all things considered. Maybe not the freak athlete. Hey, here we go. That'll do. Good pick. Finally, a hidden dev trait player early. But take a look at our draft recap. Not bad at all. Dexter Claiborne, 72 normal. Again, no first round pick. I'm not going to be expecting ridiculous draft class. Overall, good value across the board with Cordell McDuffie, 74 hidden dev, being the best of our bunch. He's going to be able to come in and compete right away in that running back room. I do want to kind of sneak a peek here at the other players we were flirting with potentially, just to see how they all lined up. So one was the outside linebacker, and we had a running back that we passed on. Wow, went to the third round for the running back? Was it Garner? Taj Garner. Ooh. Normal dev. So, it wasn't like we missed out on dev, but he looks pretty nice. 75. I think we would take our running back, though. I'd take a 74 hidden dev over a normal dev with, like, a lot of speed. Now, the other pick was the red outside linebacker, George Shelley. 72. He rolled with a dev trade here. He was the AAA. What's the dev? Just make it star so we can carry on with our live and get into year 3 of this rebuild. It's just a star. It's fine. Year 3 for our Cleveland Browns. And, back-to-back 10-win seasons to start this out. Would like to see a little more. And I think if we can get Johnny Manziel playing like he did last year, and we don't throw his 22 interceptions, I think we might be able to continue the development of him. If not, we're definitely going to be at that point staring down the barrel of year 4 and 5 of we need to find a quarterback that can lead this very talented offense to a Super Bowl if Manziel proves he cannot be that guy. On the defensive side, maybe not a complete defense. We're going to get Claiborne here. He was our top pick. He's going to play along Michael Dean Perry, but I mean, come on. These guys here, you just got to be backup actors, Perry and Garrett are going to be our D-line. Don't worry about it. Our linebacker core, I feel good. Our secondary, very good outside of the slot. And hey, we're just got the bust there, and Justin Gilbert, going to let him do his best. Our special teams unit has improved with McPherson coming in as our lone free agency signing, which we got a little bit more on. Hey, it's Tua. We passed on Tua, had more than enough money to pay him whatever it would have taken to get him to Cleveland. We stuck with Manziel for another year. Hopefully that doesn't come back to bite us in the ass. And the midway point, 2-5, not good. And I will say, very hard schedule. Taking a look at the big picture of this schedule, I was like, Jesus Christ. Like, it's one of the hardest, schedules I've straight up seen. So, to be 2-5, not shocking. And I do feel like we are going to regret not going after Tua. Looking at our contracts here, $150 billion. We're going to have Martin Emerson, 84 star dev corner. I mean, we could pay anybody. Anybody and everybody can get paid. We'll get Wyatt Teller locked up for the remainder of the rebuild, 2 years there. Juan Thornhill went up to a superstar last season, so let's continue his development in Jim Schwartz's secondary. We got Joel Bitonio. We say we run our linemen into the ground. We'll get him for another 2 years. And also, I was looking at Legends. Joel Bitonio makes top 50 players all time in terms of value on Pro Football Reference, which I'm not saying is shocking, but definitely something there. So we'll come back to the table on Martin Emerson and roll into free agency with a lot of money. Hopefully there's another Tua caliber type signing. The good news is we do have a draft pick this year, so if there is a quarterback worth finding, we finally have another first-round pick that we might be able to go do some damage in the draft. Man, the team battled. 9-8, only a win off of where we've been. Very competitive AFC North, but, under normal conditions, we're a 93 overall team. What are we talking about? 9-8. There's probably we're probably the highest rated team in the game, in the league right now. We need to be pushing for the 1 seed. We've yet to win the division. Johnny Manziel stats this year. 3,800 yards, 27 tutties, 10 picks. Not great. Also not moving the needle for the offense is very fair to say. 1,000 yards for Trent Richardson, 10 touchdowns. Good for him. 1,100 yards, 10 tutties for Josh Gordon. 8-7 for Braylon Edwards. 7-4 for Cribbs. 5-5 for Ozzie Newsome. And we're just missing something there, man. I think it probably is going to come down to the QB. Quell Jackson and JOK going over 100 tackles. JOK 6 TFLs and 5 interceptions. Big time numbers there. Myles Garrett also not going off. I don't know if that's just the case of Myles Garrett here in Madden 24, but remember in Madden 23 where he'd get 20 sacks all the time. Why is mine not doing that? Michael Dean Perry with a solid season. 3 picks Joe Haden after JOK. So, underperforming offense. And Myles Garrett is not playing like Myles Garrett usually plays, which a little bit of a bummer, to be completely honest with you. Looking for the award winners here. I don't think we're going to have anybody. A lot of Patriot, a lot of Chiefs. And we are now going into, let's look at the draft. Is there a quarterback this year? That's the downside of having all those wins and really coming together for the back end of the season and going winning streaks is there a quarterback worth drafting? Because if there is, it actually doesn't really look like this guy's the best. Cam Steinbach, 5'11", 230, built like a bowling ball. Terrible. Good. Doesn't even have elite throw power. We fucked up not getting Tua. Yeah. There's no other. We botched that. And because of our quarterback's inability to pop off, we're losing dev trades. Last year, we went down 2 superstars in Cribbs and Edwards. And this year, we lose the X factor On Ozzie Newsome, pretty good that Josh Gordon still maintained his. McDuffie, our lone hidden dev trait, draft pick, was a star. I think it's time to probably bump him up to RB1, but we got to figure out the quarterback spot. Hopefully we get a role that there's someone exciting upcoming. If not, you know, we can look for a pass rusher in the draft. We're going to need to replace Okawanko, who is going into free agency. Could also use a D tackle, could use a third corner. We have plenty of salary cap to get any and all upgrades this offseason. It's just, you know, free agency in Madden 24 is kind of poo-poo more often than not. And, yeah, let's see what we find. $100 million of fucking money to spend. And it's like, as soon as you load it up, punter, 34 years old, 34 years old, 33 years old. Quarterbacks aren't, you know, full respect to Sam Howell, who's coming off IRL, 4-interception performance. I say this as an Eagle fan. I think there's something there if you're a Commanders guy, but Sam Howell is not moving the needle any more than Johnny Manziel. Just a truly disgusting, pitiful free agency. Oh my God. And with the 16th pick in the first round, punting on the quarterback. I mean, just terrible, absolutely terrible quarterback class. Our secondary needs would then be pass rush, corner, D-line, and we did scout the corners this year. You know, we got value a little bit later on. First, second round guy in the second, third, which I'd have no issue. I mean, if you want to go top end, we have Justin Weldon, 6'3", A-catching, B-man, B-zone, C-press, very well-rounded. Runs a 4.3. However, that's all. He's a straight line athlete. 3-cone, 20-yard shuttle. 20-yard shuttle's not bad, but the 3-cone, not particularly good. Vertical jump, nothing crazy. He's probably a solid player, though. This is a guy that's probably 75, but we're looking for that third corner. We do need a starter at pass rusher, and we have two guys here that look pretty solid, but the one that caught my eye was Kalen Elam at a Texas Tech, 6'4", almost 280, A-power, A-tackle, C-finesse, C-block shed, good strength, great speed, great acceleration, ran a 4.6 at almost 280. This is my pick. You are starting on the other side of Myles Garrett. The reason why we make that move is because we did have a value corner scouted, and the corner that we need is a nickel. We need a slot corner. That is exactly what Devontae Thompson can be at 5'10", 205, 3 Bs and a C, elite strength, elite agility, good speed. Let's go. That's how you draft. Now we're back in the first round. We're getting our hidden devs. We're getting the playmakers, the game changers that we weren't getting the first couple of years. So we feel very confident with our first two picks, and they both panned out. Kalen Elam, 75 hidden dev. Devontae Thompson, 75 hidden dev. And both of these rookies are going to start for us this season, and we need them to. I got to see what that quarterback was, though. In a year that we were going to be paying, I'd pay multiple firsts to get an upgrade over Johnny Manziel. The top quarterback was 70 overall. Does have a dev trait. If this is like X Factor, maybe that would have been worth it. But there was nothing about this guy that looked, and if he's just just a truly terrible superstar. Okay. Long way to go, though. I don't know. Again, even with the dev trait, I don't know if we'd be any further ahead because he's starting at a 70 overall. How high? What is his ceiling that he could achieve within 2 seasons? Probably not enough to be the guy that can elevate this offense. All right, midway point, year 4. A little sneak peek. 3-3. I mean, we just don't got the quarterback. Don't got the quarterback that I think is the difference maker. And is this like a deal where we got to trade for one somehow? Well, this is the first time we got to start paying some of our ballers. We're going to start. We got Josh Gordon locked in. We got Joe Thomas locked in. We got Myles Garrett locked in. We got Braylon Edwards locked in. We got Michael Dean Perry. He's locked in. Oh, man, we're not going to be able to re-sign everybody. Fuck. Okay. Get Martin Emerson locked in, and we might be losing I'm not gonna lie. This did not come to me that I would have to re-sign these guys in a 5. Why? I got to give them 5-year contracts for me. I think the guys that we win and add in year 1 of the series, we never should have to deal with the salary cap and kick because they're like their own thing, right? They're not the rebuild. They're the pillars that I should get for free, and then I build a team around them. Yep. Okay. Adversity. We got some adversity here. Yeah, fucking break the glass ceiling, dude. 10-7 again. 10 wins, 10 wins, 9 wins, 10 wins through 4 years. Is Manziel that bad, dude? $34 tutties. Huge year, Josh Gordon. 1,100 yards, 18 touchdowns, over 1,000 for Braylon Edwards. So definitely our most prolific year throwing the football. Defense, I mean, contract year maybe. So why? JOK, DeQuell Jackson, tackle machines. Again, Myles Garrett just fucking underwhelming as shit. Okay. I mean, what was his hidden dev trait there? Thompson, hidden dev, star. What about our first round pick? What'd he do? 2.5 sacks. Star dev. So we just don't rush the passer. Jim Schwartz, not known for being able to rush the passer, I guess. And then the man who shall not be referenced. He's playing pretty well, obviously. Shout out Josh Gordon, wide receiver of the year. What a redemption story for him in this scenario. The what if the league wasn't a bunch of losers. They didn't test for lettuce, the devil's lettuce. But man, I don't know how to solve this team's problems with 1 year left to go in this rebuild. I don't know how to solve this team's problem with 5 years left to go if we had an additional 5 years. Our salary cap is well, we got $116 million right now. What? How did that happen? So I was a little bit cheesy, but I restructured the contracts. Pretty much anybody who would let me, so that we can at least throw some offers here for some of our top dogs. We're going to throw money at Newsome. And I think we have to, almost at this point, keep whatever we have left to see what the open market is at the quarterback spot. So that, unfortunately, could mean the end of Trent Richardson, Barkevius Mingo, Justin Gilbert, DeJuan Jones, Johnny Manziel, and DeQuell Jackson. Come on. Come on. Have a quarterback here. Just one. Just some guy that's like, yes, that's the guy we need. Oh. Oh, no. the double whammy. Damn. All right, let's throw some bits here. See if we can get this team to pop off. You know what? We'll draw that off for Cooper Kupp. I do think Ronnie Stanley actually would be a pretty sizable signing for us because we need a replacement for DeJuan Jones at right tackle. All right, so that's the guy we'll go after, and then in the draft we can look for, whatever. So we'll go Ronnie Stanley. We'll go very player friendly. Try to put our best offer forward, which we can do. And I do think we come back here for Jahmyr Gibbs and we offer him the rest because we need a new starter at running back. Maybe that's what we need. We're the Browns and we're not really running the football like if we had a Nick Chubb. And maybe someone like Jahmyr Gibbs could be that missing piece. So, all right. Nice. And it's down to Money Manziel, who tells us to go fuck ourselves. Wow. All right, hear me out. This could be funny. This could be funny. This could be really funny. This could be what we need. For sure, for sure, for sure, for sure. Not trying to cope. For sure, this could work. For sure. I was like, you know what? Let's go grab our quarterback. in the draft. Top 5, second, third round. Top 5, day 3 talent. Third, fourth round talent. That's like every multiple years that this has been the quarterbacks in the draft. What do I do? It's Baker's team, I guess. I've never seen like draft class. I don't even like. I'm flustered. I don't know. This guy looks pretty good. All right, and no depth. Just brutal. I've not had a rebuild like that. Obviously, it's a little bit of a different rebuild, but just shit. Draft classes. Shit. Free agencies. Should have signed Tua. So our final draft, just drafting a crazy wide receiver. Depth traits, kind of been the nature of the beast, but that's outstanding. 78 overall. Honestly, he's probably going to push Josh Cribbs to start. 70. I got to see these quarterbacks, though. In a draft, in a rebuild, where we are desperate for quarterbacks. Caleb Mooney, 72. I mean, I don't even care what the depth traits is. Well, he's 68 overall. Dan Cunningham, normal, out of North Dakota State. Current Carson Wentz, right out the gate. Jack Stanley, 71, normal overall. Blake Hutchinson, 63, normal. First round quarterbacks. I think there was one more. That was like a potential first rounder, maybe not. This guy, yeah, Eddie Johnson, 71. Okay, let me see the depths. Like, I've both the two guys that got devs are star. This is maybe the worst quarterback class that's ever existed all time. Caleb Mooney, best of the bunch here, which is not saying much. 93 throw power. I mean, he's a scrambler, improviser, and he has 78. Yes, he has 97, 78 speed. Who is that guy outrunning? What's the depth? Again, I'm nauseous looking at those QBs, knowing how badly I need one. All right, Baker, what do you got in the tank? I have an auto set. We got to auto set this here for a second. I was just like, holy shit, we got a superstar quarterback. That might be better than what we got. All right. I mean, it's obviously a different rebuild, but we've yet to not win a Super Bowl in any rebuilds in Madden 24, and I think that is a very realistic possibility right now. Should it be? I mean, outside of QB, this is a damn good team. 97 X factor, 89 running back, 96 offensive line is easily the best offensive line in football. I don't know, man. We just haven't been able to put it together. But I think maybe fitting if we have to just kind of have a screw it, throw a quarterback in there for a Browns rebuild that has busts and hits and misses and all these different things. Finishing with Baker Mayfield kind of feels right, given the players. But we could have got, multiple different options there. Defense, solid. We're going to go Hazelwood, JOK as our two linebackers, so I'm not really concerned with the middle linebacker there. Juan Thornhill's regressed a lot. At one point, he was a superstar dev. Secondary, Emerson's developed nicely. Joe Haden's been solid. I mean, I can't look at this defense and think, how are you so bad? Myles Garrett, I don't think he's got double-digit sacks yet in this rebuild. So, yeah. Figure it out, man. I don't know, though. This is bad. How did this happen? It's because we didn't sign Tua. It's because we didn't sign Tua. We should have signed Tua. Holy, we're 5-2! Midway. Hold on. Actually, I don't know. I was going to say, is it Baker? It's not really Baker. I guess we're just... I mean, Baker's not playing bad, right? He's kind of playing like Baker Mayfield. How are we 5-2? Kind of middle of the park, kind of just average. Borderline top 10 offense, top 10 rushing defense. Okay, they're battling. This team is 7-2. And Baker is playing outrageous. 4 touchdowns, AFC offense. This is a big one, though. You're fine. Like, you know, maybe we got an easy schedule. How do you handle the Kansas City Chiefs? They're great. If we get a win here, I believe. If not, maybe I still kind of believe. What? 24-17? Was Jahmyr Gibbs the missing piece? Was the fact that we never prioritized the running back in a team that clearly so heavily values the running back not ever replacing a Nick Chubb, is that the missing piece? And all it took was probably Jahmyr Gibbs and Baker Mayfield for us to, I mean, we still have to find out right away at Acrisure Stadium. I love how you went out to watch Red Zone. That guy always, like, emphasizes the Steelers Stadium name now, the new name. It's Heinz Field. All right, buddy, it's Heinz Field. 12-5. Our best season comes with Baker Mayfield under center. Did not see that coming. He played fine. 30 touchdowns, 9 picks. Jahmyr Gibbs, pretty nice. Josh Gordon, Braylon Edwards, both going over 1,000 yards on the season. JOK, Hazelwood stepped up. Why? Like, just nothing changed. Where's that been for 4 years? Where? I did nothing. Literally, we might have more questions on the defense than at any other point, and Myles Garrett finally has, like, hut? This is where I need someone to explain. I play a lot of Madden. I should be able to explain things. This is when people usually ask me questions. C4, why does this happen? And I can say, well, this is kind of why it happened there, Billy. Why? What is... He didn't, like, nothing changed. He stayed at right defensive end. He didn't change in the pass, like the sub-pass rush. He was the same spot on the depth chart everywhere for this whole rebuild, and magically just goes off. I guess maybe went up again. We had, you know, better roles. Every other year he's gone up against all pro tackles, and then this year we got, you know, something a little bit better. My God. Very little consistency, man, but at the end of the day, we have a chance to go on a run, to keep the Super Bowl dreams alive, and it starts here against the 12-5 Steelers. To figure out who the best team is in the AFC North. On the road, Pittsburgh has a top 5 offense, top 5 defense, but we know that when we're on the other side of that coin, when we bring a top 5 offense, top 5 defense, that's when you're most acceptable to losing. And that's exactly what happened. Baker Mayfield leads the upset and gets player of the week. 4 touchdowns, no picks. And the Cleveland Browns knock out the Pittsburgh Steelers. Prove that here in year 5, they are the top dogs in the AFC North. And we get a very, very tough matchup here in the divisional round against the 14-3 Vegas Raiders. Number 1 offense in the NFL, top 10 defense. Let's hop in, grab front row seats. This one, hop in if we need to. All right, let's go. Baker Mayfield did wonders, but now we're going up against a legit, outstanding team. We got a touchdown on the opening drive. So it's 3rd and 7. 4 verts. Where's Winslow? Winslow, 99's pretty much Tyreek Hill 2.0. Does win. And we fit that in between the safety and the corner. Slot corner against my burner matchup. We will take advantage of every single time to tie it up at 7. And we'll apply the same rules. You can come in 3 times like we do with the regular rebuilds. I'd love my team to, look at that. Okay, they get the instant touchdown. This is when we come in. Down 6. We need 1. We're going to throw it. We're going to play action pass. B is open. Braylon Edwards will make the safe catch, and he gets up. Look, 3 interceptions for Baker Mayfield today, and it's still a 6-point game. That's pretty impressive. We get the touchdown. Go ahead. We get our own turnover. Up 28-20, and we go to the 4th with a lead. It's tied up at 28. Kick the field goal to go up 1. Probably tough to settle there because you know the Raiders are going to be going for it, and they go for it on 4th down, put the game away. I gotta respect that, man. 4th and 1. They could have kicked it to us, could have gave us a shot, but You know, an asterisk, because I don't really, it's, you know, obviously not a true rebuild. But you're not going to win many games when your quarterback goes 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions with the AFC Championship game on the line, man. Just too many turnovers. It was a Brian German, whatever the fuck that is. And we could not stop Josh Jacobs to save our lives, man. He is one of the most overpowered players in Madden 24. And we saw it on full display here, man. Buck 72, 3 touchdowns is ridiculous. We just couldn't run. Shout out Josh Gordon, 3 touchdowns, a hat trick of his own, 96 yards. Myles Garrett came alive this year. Don't know where that's been. 2 interceptions. Grant Delpit. But, you know, technically and officially our first rebuild that didn't give us a Super Bowl. So what do you guys think? Do you guys like this series? Is this something you want to see me do for other teams? I have no idea what to call it. Like right now, that's my biggest problem. I have no idea what the title of this is going to be, what the thumbnail is going to be to get the people, get the bots to click on it, to make it successful. No idea. What, like right now I got win a player equals legend, lose a game, bust. I see it's just, I don't know. If you like it and you want to see more, let me know what team. And not only let me know what team, give me short lists of players you want to utilize. Because there are probably Brown fans out there like C4. I would have went Jim Brown at fullback and just utilized that to counteract the fact that you had Trent Richardson. I would have went Otto Graham at quarterback. You know, I don't know. I don't know if I necessarily missed anybody. But, and they don't always have to be legends, man. We utilize Josh Cribbs. You know, he probably wouldn't make the all-time top, you know, whatever. We had 10 wins, right? So we had 10 legends that we could add. But, you know, fun players also can get thrown into the mix. Doesn't need to be necessarily like every Hall of Famer for every given team. If there's someone that was ridiculous one year in Madden, like if I'm doing an Eagles one, right? I don't know if Deshaun Jackson, if I had 7, 8 wins, would make the list. But the fact that Deshaun Jackson in Madden 10 or 11 or whatever was freaking unstoppable, like that's someone I would utilize. I'd bring back that one. Him and Michael Vick, unstoppable on go route. So let me know if you want to see another episode of this series, what team we should do. And if you give me a team, give me players you would love to see so I can add it to the list. And if you did enjoy it, and it is your first time stopping by, all I ask to help the series, help the channel out, is like button, comments for the algorithm, subscribe if it's your first time stopping by, and until next time, it's your boy C4 saying peace out, love ya, have a good one.